Okay, here is a glimpse of the menu that I am doing this month for the month of May, and you will see I have already done it, and I have already organized it to where I know what I'm gonna eat for each day in the month of May. And right now this is going to be my overview as I cook it, so I'll know what's gonna go on what day and what all I need to prepare for. This is just a little breakdown of the menu. If you are interested to seeing how I do a monthly meal prep, as far as doing the planning for it, then I will put the link in the description bar, or you can click the little icon at the top that will take you directly to that video so you can see how I do plan for it. But I just wanted to include right here what my meal or what my month was going to consist of. Since we are getting more into the spring and the summer months, well, really out of the spring and into the summer months, my menu has changed. You won't see a lot of soups or a lot of heavy cooking, like a lot of mashed potatoes and you know, like your warm, well, not your warm, but your winter months, and how you have more soups and more heavy foods. These are going to be pretty much more light food, something that's going to be really quick that I can just throw into the crock pot and have either cooking while I'm at work, or something that we can just throw into the crock pot and it only take maybe a minimum of 2 hours to heat up and still be good. So I just wanted to include this in here so you'll see what I'm going to be working. So what I'm gonna try to do this time, because I do have a lot of people that ask me, what's the recipe or what are you using and that type, I'm gonna try to show you each individual thing that I am going to put inside of the bags that I'm going to freeze for whatever meal that I'm using. And hopefully, instead of me having to go through and put individual recipes down, you can kind of see it as I go. I'm gonna try to do that. Hopefully I can accomplish it. If I don't, then we'll try in another video, or I'll just go ahead and try to stick in the recipes that I am using. If you are interested in any of the items that I'm going to be cooking, I do have them listed on my Pinterest page, and I'll make sure that I put my Pinterest page down in the description bar below so that you can go to it and check out some of the recipes that I am following. So this is probably going to be a very long and detailed video. I like to keep my videos pretty short, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one since I am doing a month's long meal prep. Plus I'm trying to give you guys everything that I'm going to be adding in each meal, so it's probably going to be very detailed and probably going to be very long. So if you are interested to see in how I do this for the month of April, then you know what you have to do. Just make sure that you stay tuned. Also, be sure to click that thumbs up button if you do like this video, and hit that red subscribe button so that you will not miss out on any more of the videos that I do have. Come along, it's gonna be a fun-filled day. See y'all soon. Okay, so right now what you see is this pack of chicken that I went and picked up from my local Sam's Club. I like to get my chicken from them because they have this big, y'all, these, if you've ever gotten chicken from Sam's, then you know that their chicken is like really pumped up on steroids. Like, they're so huge. I don't understand why, but I always take my chicken that I get from Sam's and I split them in half. So I went and I bought 3 big packs of this, and I've already cut the other 2, and I split them in half, and they're in this bowl right here. So I'm gonna show you how I do it with this pack of chicken right here. My chicken still is a little frozen, but if it comes with like fat that is still connected to it, I do cut that off. I do leave on whatever little bit I have like in between, like here and there, just to give it a little bit of flavor, but I do cut the skin off. And then you can see when I do split them, they're like your normal piece of size of chicken. So that's why I do split them. Now what I'm gonna do, because I know that I have 2 meals that is going to consist of me cooking my chicken, which is going to be the chicken crock pot, which is going to be the chicken pot pie. So my chicken is going to need to be cooked before I freeze that, and then my chicken salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-cook my chicken that I know that I'm going to need to cook. So I'm gonna take chicken out that is going to be enough for chicken salad. And then I'm taking enough chicken out that's going to be enough for pot pie. Alright, so after I put my chicken over in there, then I'm just going to add me some chicken broth over inside of there too. And if you do not have chicken broth, you guys, you can use water. If you don't have chicken broth, you can definitely use water, because you just need some type of moisture inside of the chicken to make it cook, or to steam it pretty much. But you can use water, and if you do use water, then you can use like water in a bouillon cube, or water and a little bit of oil and some salt and pepper just to give it a little bit of seasoning. But I'm gonna add this whole thing of chicken broth over inside of here. I want to add enough that's going to cover up the chicken that I put in here, so I can make sure that it gets enough steam to pressurize the chicken. Oh, you know what I just thought about too? I'm gonna need to add some more chicken over in there, because I also need to do cheesy chicken and rice. So I'm gonna add a couple more pieces of chicken to this, because that chicken is gonna have to be cooked too. That's enough. Okay, and then for seasoning, I'm gonna add in some lemon pepper, just to give it a little bit of seasoning as it's cooking. I'm also going to add in some just natural seasoning salt, so I won't overdo it with the salt and pepper. And then I'm going to add in some Tuscan garlic seasoning. And you will see me use the same seasoning over and over in my chicken meals. All right, once I have that done, I'm just gonna add the lid on top of this pressure cooker, and then I'm gonna put it over in the corner, and I'm gonna cook it for 45 minutes. This pressure cooker is really awesome. I got this pressure cooker from Walmart probably about 6 years ago, and it's still going strong. The one I had before then, I got from not Sam's, I got it from QVC, and it was really good too. But I had no problems out of this pressure cooker. So I'm gonna put it on for 45 minutes, and I'm gonna let my chicken cook while I prepare the other meals that I gotta do. All right, so the first meal that I'm gonna make right now, that I know that I don't have to cook my chicken, is going to be the Crockpot chicken green bean potato casserole. And all that is going to be is, I've done it before in one of my other videos, but I did it in an aluminum pan. So instead of me doing it in an aluminum pan this time, or a casserole dish, I am just going to put it into the Crockpot and let it all cook evenly in the Crockpot, as if I was putting it in the oven the same way. So with this right here, the only thing that I'm going to put in here is just going to be my chicken. But the day that I get ready to cook it, my green beans are going to come straight out of a can. They're going to go on one side of the crock pot. The green beans are going to, the chicken is going to go on one side of the crock pot. The green beans are going to go on the other side of the crock pot, and the potatoes are going to go on top, or your potatoes can go on the bottom, however you want to do it. But I'm just going to put my chicken in here and season it, and then this meal is going to be already done. When I go to put this into the crock pot, I would add a little bit of chicken broth just so that it can cook evenly. I'm gonna put enough chicken in here that I know that it's gonna be enough for the family. I'll probably eat a small piece of chicken, and then my husband will probably do 2, my daughter will do 2, and then my son will do 2. So I'm gonna do 2 more in here. All right, so that's the chicken that I'm going to use for that, and then I'm just going to add some seasoning over into it. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can season it all the same day. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I would add onions and peppers over in there, but my kids are very funny. They don't like that. So I'm just going to season it with some natural seasoning. So when I do get ready to unthaw this, it'll already be seasoned. All I got to do is dump it over into the crock pot. Here I'm going to add in the garlic. And then I'm going to add in the lemon pepper. And then I'm going to seal it up, push all the air out of it, seal it up. And guess what? That meal is done. Again, like when you get ready to do this or get ready to use it the day of, and I may try to come back and show you a little cute clip of when I do prepare this, but you'll just take this and you're going to put it into your crock pot. Meal number 1. So the next meal that I'm going to cook is going to be Hawaiian chicken. This is probably going to be the same as if I was doing it with the crock pot green beans and chicken. The Hawaiian chicken is going to be pretty much the same. You're going to take your chicken over in it. This time, instead of me adding in whole breast, I am going to take chicken and cut them up into chunks, okay? After I do that, then I'm gonna add in the ingredients that I need to go into this bag. So you just take your chicken that you know that you're gonna use. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm gonna just take this chicken and I'm just kind of cut them up. They don't have to be into little pieces because they're gonna cook down pretty good. You can also take this, because I have used it with bone-in split breast, and it's really good that way because the bone, it just cooks right off of the bone, you guys. It's so good. And I should have got some of that to do it, but this is okay to do as well. Whenever I have chicken breast that does not have bone in, I just cut them up into pieces. And if you hear noise, I apologize. My neighbors are cutting the grass. It is a good day to cut the grass. It's Saturday and the weather is like 60 degrees, so it's really good. Feels nice outside. This one right here is actually going to be a Sunday meal, so I'm gonna add another piece of chicken so we'll make sure that we have enough. For the Hawaiian chicken, I am going to add some onions over in it because it will cook down really good, and I think that it just really brings out the flavor of the chicken when you do that. So what I'm going to do right now, since I have it already spreaded, I'm going to go ahead and season my chicken on my cutting board along with my onions. This is just lemon pepper. I always use it. I'm going to use garlic again on the chicken. And then I am going to use some natural season. Then I'm going to add all of this over into the bag. Then I'm going to add in some pineapple chunks to it. And you don't have to add in pineapple chunks if you don't want to, but I'm going to put the juice and I'm going to put pineapples over in it because the juice is going to act as my broth. I can never pronounce this or pronounce it right, but you know what I'm talking about. The Worcestershire, yeah, that thing right there, this word right here. I can never pronounce it right, but I'm going to put this over in there too to bring out the flavor of the chicken as well. And I am going to seal my bag and make sure I get out as much air as I possibly can so that it will lay flat. and that meal is done too. When I go to put it inside of the crock pot, then it's just going to be this chicken that's gonna cook. I'll do green beans either on the side, or I can cook the green beans with it, but I'm probably not gonna do that. I'll just do a pot of green beans, and rice is what's gonna go with it. This chicken right here is gonna go on over the rice. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna cook is gonna be the chicken teriyaki bowls, and I am going to leave my chicken raw like I've done the others. It's pretty much gonna be just like my Hawaiian chicken, but it's not gonna have the pineapples in it. I am going to cut up the meat like I did for my Hawaiian chicken. The only difference of this is I'm not gonna use a lot of meat like I did in my Hawaiian chicken, because my son is not going to eat the chicken teriyaki bowls. He does not like the teriyaki sauce, so he will eat something different that day. So that lets me know that I don't need as much meat. This is going to be for myself, my husband, and my daughter. So I'm going to take the chicken and I'm going to cube it up like I did for my Hawaiian chicken, and then we're going to stick it over in the bag, and I'll show you what ingredients I'm going to use. Will come last because we'll cook our rice over on the pot, and then after we combine all of this into the crock pot, the rice will cook on the stove on the side, and then you'll do your scoop of rice, and then you'll do your teriyaki chicken and stuff on the top. So anyway, I'm gonna do like I did the Hawaiian chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and season it up. This is just the garlic that I'm putting on there. I'm gonna add some lemon pepper again. I'm gonna add some natural seasoning to this. Now when it does cook down, I'm gonna take all of this and I'm gonna add it into the bag. You can add some peppers over in there. My daughter does not like peppers, so that's the reason why I'm not adding peppers to it. She will tolerate onions, but peppers, not so much. And I am going to add some Tuscan seasoned broccoli. I love the steamers, and you can cook the steamers outside of the bag. I will put this over in here so it can cook in the crock pot. It's gonna cook pretty slow, but I love this broccoli. It's really, really good. It comes out super tender and it adds a lot of flavor. So I'm gonna put this over in here to cook with it. After you dump that over in there, I'm going to add some I'm gonna add what I can't say, okay? So I'm gonna put this over inside of here too to add a little bit of flavor. And then last but not least is going to come the teriyaki sauce. I'm gonna add this over into it. I always use this brand. I love this brand. It always adds a lot of flavor to your food. So I'm going to put this over inside of it as well. So when I do get ready to defrost it, throw it over into the crock pot, I don't have to add any more ingredients to it. It's already done. And there goes my knife. After I get that in there, I go ahead and give it a little shake, just so that it can get all through. Which you don't have to do that because you can do it after you defrost it. After I do that, I am going to open it up on the corner, get it as smooth as I possibly can so that it lay as flat as it possibly can, and you're done. All right. So the next chicken meal that we're going to be doing is going to be barbecue pulled chicken. This is super, super simple. Only thing you need is just your chicken, your barbecue sauce, and your seasoning. I am going to cook this in the crock pot, so I do not have to go ahead and cook my chicken right now. I'll let this cook in the crock pot for about 8 hours, and then after it cooks, then we'll shred it up. It'll go on sandwiches. You're good to go. So I'm going to pull out the chicken that I know that I'm going to need. this right here is all of the chicken. So I'm done with that. So here we go with the Tuscan garlic sauce, or Tuscan garlic seasoning. Lemon pepper. Natural seasoning. And then in this particular one, I'm gonna add a different one, which is going to be cayenne pepper, paprika, and chili powder. So since this is the barbecue sauce, or the barbecue that I'm going to be using on this one, I'm gonna add in a little bit of cayenne pepper just to give that flavor, give it a little bit of spice. Then I'm gonna add in some chili powder. And then after that, I'm gonna add in some paprika. After I get all of that done, then I'm gonna add it into my baggie. And it's okay if you didn't get the chicken that's on the bottom, because all of this is going to go into one pot. So all that seasoning will be in there anyway. Now with this barbecue pulled chicken that we do, let me move this out of the way again. Now whenever we do the barbecue pulled chicken, my husband and I always take peppers and onions and we will put them over into a pan and we will sear them or get them tender to go on our sandwiches, and we do that because of the kids. All right, and for this particular chicken, we're gonna use my husband's barbecue sauce, and he makes his own sauce. I'll be sure to put his website link down below so you can check it out, but it's super, super good. He has several different flavors, but we're gonna use the hickory smoked sauce, smoked cola sauce right here on this one, and it does freeze really well. It's really, really good though, but I'm gonna use his barbecue sauce to go onto this. So I'm gonna just take this and pour it over inside of there. I'm gonna give it a good shake. Lay it down, and we're going to get it as flat as possible. Let all the air out. It's good to go. All right, so the next meal that I'm going to make is going to be shrimp stir fry. This one is going to be a little different. Not that much different. It's still going to be very simple. Nothing for you to really prep. I'm going to take shrimp. They're going to be the extra large ones. I got 2 bags of it. These are not they have been peeled and deveined, but they still have the tail on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pour them all in here, and then I'm going to take the tails off. So that way it makes it simpler when we get ready to eat. We don't have to worry about peeling the tail off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now and put it over into the stuff, and then I'll tell you the seasoning and stuff that I add onto it. This is what I'm going to use. It's really simple on how you're going to take the tail off. You'll just pretty much take a piece of shrimp, and I hope I can get it good, but you'll take the piece of shrimp and I just kind of pinch the tail right there and it slides right off. Real simple. So with this one, we're gonna get up a little bit closer. As you can see in this bowl, I have my shrimp, and then I'm going to use Old Bay for this one. I'm gonna sprinkle that over into it. Get that good and seasoned. I'm gonna add in some garlic powder. And I'm gonna add in some onion powder. After that, I'm going to use, because this is going to be stir fry, These are the vegetables that I'm going to use. So I'm gonna put this in this bowl right here, and these just come from my regular Walmart. If I can get it open. It also gives you packs of stir-fry sauce that you can use. I'm gonna add this over into here too, so I can get it all mixed up together. It gives you 2 sauces. I got a little bit left, but I doubt that I'll use it all. My family is not, they'll eat it, but they'll pick through this too. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of Old Bay in here, just so when I get ready to put it over, because this right here, when I cook it the day of, it's gonna go on the stove. So this will not go into the crock pot. But all I will have to do is just take it out of the bag and dump it over into the stove. There's the bag. I'm gonna go ahead and seal it, because that's probably as flat as that is going to get. And I am going to put these sauce packs with this, because we probably will use it. I'm not sure on this day if we're going to do rice, like fried brown rice, or if we're actually going to do a linguine. I'm not sure, but whatever we do decide to do, it's going to be simple for us to cook it that day of. I will add 2 eggs to this as well. I'm not going to freeze the eggs inside of this, but 2 eggs will go into it too. But this is your shrimp stir fry along with your packets. Now I think what I'm going to do is run upstairs and see if my husband is okay, because he does have Winter with him, to see if he wants a little break. He may come down and we may finish the video together. I'm not sure. So if you do see some bigger hands than mine into the picture, then you know it's my husband's, but I'll probably do a walkthrough with it, or I'll have him to do a walkthrough. But I'm gonna go up here and see if he needs any help. So I'll be right back. All right, so the next meal that we got, and if you hear any noise in the background, that's just Winter. She's over in the corner sunbathing. But anyway, the next meal that we got is going to be the Marinara meatballs. So this is going to be pretty simple. I always go to Walmart and I always get the pre-made meatballs. So all I'm going to do is just go ahead and open these up, and I'm going to put them over in there, and then I'm going to use a 4-cheese sauce. That way, when I do get ready to throw these over in the crock pot, they're already done. Well, they're already, I don't have to do any prepping to it. So, it'll be pretty much done. I'm not going to add any seasoning to it, because I let the family pretty much decide what they want in it. Generally, when we do meatball subs, they'll just take some meatballs, some sauce. They'll do Parmesan cheese over on top of it. Hubby likes to add in some green peppers. If you want onions, you can do that as well. Zabin, he'll probably just eat meatballs by itself. So this is going to be a real simple meal. So if you want to do it, you just add everything in together. I'm going to use this whole bag of meatballs. Dump them all over into this little container, or this Ziploc bag. And then I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to add this over in there. And I probably will open up another the day of and put it over into the crock pot. I'm not going to do it right now though. I'm not going to do it right now because there's really no need to. But I am going to give this a good shake like I did all the others. And then of course I'm going to lay it flat, open up one corner, let the air out, get it as flat as possible. And your meatball sub is done. All right, y'all, so now I got my tag team partner down here helping me. Say what up, baby.
What's up?
What's up? He is helping me make the hash brown casserole. So right now he's going to scramble up my sausage for me and the onion so that we can go ahead and get that cooked and cooled, and then I will show you what else I put in the hash brown casserole, just so that we can freeze it really good. Also, the pressure cooker that I was showing you guys over here, it is completely done. So I'm gonna let the steam out of this so that we can go ahead and go to those chicken meals that are my next chicken meals with that. So, and this little thing down here, tell me you didn't want to cooperate, so we had to bring you into the mix, right? Say it ain't so, Winner. Say it ain't so. Hey. Tell them hey. You down here making all the noise. Yeah, there you go. Say hi, guys. Yeah, it's me, back in full effect. I just finished eating. Alright, y'all. So here's all the chicken that I've actually shredded. There was a lot of chicken that I put in there, and as you can see as I'm going through it now, it's a lot of chicken, but this is going to give me enough chicken to do the cheesy chicken and rice, enough chicken to do the chicken pot pie, and enough chicken to do the chicken salad. So that's what I'm going to get ready to do right now. I have my eggs already boiled right here for the chicken salad. I'm going to put this in the Ninja and go ahead and chop them up really good, and then I'm going to add my chicken over in it with my mayonnaise and my sweet pickles, so you'll see how I do my chicken salad. Okay, so basically what I did is I just added in some mayonnaise, some sweet pickles, and your chicken salad is pretty much done. I won't do the salt and pepper or anything until we actually defrost it. I have never frozen chicken salad before. This will be my first time, so I'm hoping that it turns out okay. All right, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is going to be hash brown casserole. And that's what I had hubby over here cooking, was the ground, well, not the ground beef, but the sausage for the hash brown casserole. And since it's already done cooled down, I'm just bring that pot or that pan over here. And as you can see, the sausage is already cooked. So I'm gonna move this over to the side. I am using sausage, but you can definitely add whatever you choose. Some people do ham, some people do ground beef, some people do bacon. It's just totally your preference. So I'm gonna take these hash browns, and I just got these from Walmart. No one's special, and they are frozen. And I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna put them in here. Then I'm gonna take this sausage that he rounded up. I am not going to drain this sausage because it is going to be frozen, and it'll add flavor to the potatoes when the food cooks. So I'll leave that as is. And then I'm going to put like 8 eggs in there. I am not going to add in my milk product, which you would do either half and half, or you can do heavy cream, or you can do canned milk. I generally do either canned milk or half and half. I'm gonna take this and give it a good mix, so I can mix all of this in before I go to dump it over into the casserole. Well, not the casserole, but into the Ziploc bag. And I don't think hubby put anything on here to cook this sausage, because the kind that we use pretty much comes seasoned really good, so we don't have to add any extra seasoning to it. Should have put it in a bigger bowl. I don't know if hubby got another bowl. I don't think so. I don't see it. So we'll just deal with what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in my eggs. Like I said, I'm probably gonna use about 7 to 8 eggs. Pretty much going to take this and just kind of mix it in. It's not going to mix all the way through like I want it to. And normally, y'all, I'm going to show y'all how I normally do it. I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't use this. I generally take my hands and do it. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put it into the Ziploc bag right here. In the morning when I go to take it out, just to let it unthaw, when I go to put it over into my crock pot is when I will then add in my cheese. So basically you'll take your mixture, I'll take part of it, put it in the crock pot, add a layer of cheese, add some more, add a layer of cheese, add some more, add another layer of cheese, and then you'll just let all of that cook in your crock pot. And you have to make sure that when you go ahead and unthaw this, like I always put it out the night before, when I go to put it into the crock pot, I always make sure that I put my milk in as well. So I'll take this out of the Ziploc bag, put it back into a little bowl, add in my half and half, or either in my canned milk or whatever milk you choose to use. Go ahead and get it all the way through, then take and spoon it out and put it into your crock pot, and then just do it as layers, like if you were going to do a lasagna, and then you have it. But the big thing is out of the way, which is just your sausage, so you know you don't have to cook it, but most of it is already done. I'm gonna add it into that Ziploc bag, and then you're done with your hash brown casserole. So the next thing that I'm getting ready to do is going to be my chicken pot pie. This is how much chicken I have left from all of the shredded chicken that I cooked. This will go into the pot pie, and the pot pie is really simple to make too. You're gonna need your vegetables of choice. I use the veg all right here. You're gonna need cream of chicken. This is the one that I use as well. And then for my topping, I'm going to use the Jiffy cornbread mix. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do 2 or if I'm gonna do 1, but I'll look and see, or measure it out, you know, towards the end to see which one I'm gonna do. But my chicken, remember when we went ahead and did it into the pressure cooker, it was already seasoned. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more natural seasoning to it. I'm gonna go ahead and open these up so I can show you how I make the base. After you get all of that done really good, as you can see, it has a pretty good thick consistency to it, and it'll be even more creamier when you cook it. I'm gonna add in a little bit more natural seasoning to it so that I won't overdo it with salt or pepper. And for my chicken pot pie, I generally, if I'm not using the Jiffy cornbread mix, I will add a pinch of sugar just to give it a more sweet taste. But since I'm using the Jiffy cornbread mix, that already is pretty sweet. So I don't have to do anything more to this. I'm gonna sit this to the side so that I can go ahead and do my mixture for my Jiffy cornbread. Actually, what I'll go ahead and do is go ahead and put it in the casserole dish. Take this mixture and go ahead and put it in this dish. And then you just want to spread it out evenly. Winter took like all of 20-minute nap. Okay, so I'm gonna spread this pretty evenly over into the casserole dish, and then we're going to work on our cornbread mix. Alright, so for the Jiffy cornbread mix, I think I'm just going to do 1 box because I feel like if I do 2, it's going to come out of my pan. I don't think my pan is deep enough for me to do 2, but you pretty much all you want to do with this is just follow the instructions, and they tell you everything that you need to do for corn muffins on the side. And then you got, I want to say, yeah, you got the cornbread down there. You're gonna follow everything that they say. I am going to do what they tell me to do. I'm gonna put in 1 egg. I'm gonna do the milk. I kind of eyeball my milk so I know what I'm doing. Here's my egg right here. I never pull out the what do you call it, the measuring cup to measure my milk. I just pretty much go with it. All right, and then I'm just gonna mix it. I just want enough crust. Never frozen it this way, so hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then I'll let you guys know. And then your chicken pot pie is done. So the next meal that I'm gonna make is going to be cheesy broccoli chicken. This is the last of my chicken right here. I'm just gonna dump it over into this big pot so I can have a bigger mixing bowl. Then I'm gonna take a can of cream of chicken right here, and I'm gonna dump it over in there as well. I'm not gonna add any, let me think, should I? No, I'm not gonna add any water to this right now, but when I do defrost it and get ready to put it into the crock pot, I will add water to it, because probably about 10 minutes before it's finished cooking in the crock pot, I'm gonna add in my rice. You don't have to add in your rice right now to it, because you just really don't. No reason for it. I'm gonna give this a good stir. Once I get this stirred pretty good, then I'm gonna add in my broccoli. My broccoli is frozen. And the frozen broccoli will actually also add in some water to this mixture when you get ready to cook it. Alright, so I got that mixed pretty good. Here's the broccoli that I use. It's just a bird eye broccoli. I get it from Walmart. I always get the big bag because we love broccoli in my household. I'm gonna dump all of that over into this mixture. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the cheese over into there as well. I always like to eyeball my cheese, but to be exact, I will probably, in a normal one of these broccoli and rice, I'll add 2 of these. I like to use the Fiesta blend, but I also do a mild cheddar cheese too. It's whatever cheese that you choose to use in yours. And I generally always do a big batch of this because my son loves chicken and rice, and this is sort of kind of like a chicken and rice. It's just adding in a vegetable. It's pretty much how I can get him to eat his vegetables. He's getting better though. If you feel like you need 2 cream of chickens, that is perfectly fine too, because you don't want this to be dry. So I'm probably going to use another cream of chicken right now, because the batch is pretty big. I have made this particular dish with hamburger meat, so ground beef. You can do it with ground beef, you can do it with ground turkey. And then you can also add some bacon in here too. Makes it really good. Or you can just cook your bacon on the side and then crumble your bacon up on top of it when it's done. That's a good meal. Alright, so that's what your mixture pretty much looks like. I'm gonna add a little natural season to this. Not gonna do too much because I don't know what is needed in it, and then they'll season theirs as you know, as they like. And that's all you have to do to this right now, so we're gonna go ahead and bag it. Alright y'all, so hubby is gonna take over and do this salmon for me. He's gonna make salmon patties, and he'll kind of go through and tell you how he does it or what all he's gonna do. So he'll be talking through, and if you hear Winter in the background, just sorry, disregard her, but she's playing and she's kind of good right now, so yeah.
How y'all doing? Actually going through a can of salmon to check for small bones that may be in, and as we go through, drop it off in here before we add the eggs and the binder. Alright, we got all the tuna and the salmon broken down, and we're going to add the eggs, and so they have crackers. We're going to add bread so it binds together.
We're gonna add in a little bit of this lemon juice just to kind of cut out the fishy taste of the salmon. Lemon will cut any type of fish taste, so it's not too strong. So he'll do probably about like 2 caps of that in there to make it good.
Taking the mixture and mixing it all together till we get everything that was dry all put together so we can actually form the patties. Next, we're gonna layer the probably like 3 or 4 on the bottom of the bag. Put wax paper in between them. Put the rest of them on top, and then freeze them till we're ready to eat.
Okay, so here's everything that we did get to do. I did most of the meal prepping, but I do have some that I'm not gonna be able to do until the day of. There's just another quick rundown of the menu that I went by. On the 21st, the pork chops, that'll be done the day of, and then the 28th, the stew meat and baked potatoes will be done the day of. The burritos will be done the day of as well. And then up there, the BLT salad, that'll be done the day of. But everything else is what we did. Now the stuffed shells, that'll be done the day of as well. But I do have spaghetti sauce that I had already had pre-made. So for the, on my menu, you'll see on the 19th, it says spaghetti. And I had some of that stuff already pre-made, like the ground beef for the, burritos, that's already done. So but yeah, that just gives you an overview of everything that we did. And I started at about 11:45, somewhere around in there, and it's now like almost 5:30. It's 2 minutes away from 5:30. All right, you guys, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Make sure you hit that red button so that you won't miss any more of the videos that we have. Also, I'm gonna try to leave links to everything that I discussed in the video. I probably will have some iCards at the top, and then in the description bar I will leave my Pinterest information so that you can go on there and look at the different recipes that I actually went by or used in my Pinterest. Also, if you have any recipes that you do as far as freezer meals, or just any recipes period that you use for your family, and you would like to share them, please put it down in the comment section. I read all of my comments and I'm always looking for new ideas. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.